What day do you want this to auto draft? First of all, you're going to tell them what date if they're a senior and they're getting Social Security. You're going to tell them. You're not going to ask them what date. You're going to tell them the date.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, we're going to set this up for the 3rd of the month.
That's right.
It's set up with the bank to be processed with your Social Security. The bank will pay it once a month on your behalf for you, okay? Just like that. You're not going to use the words automatic withdrawal, auto draft, auto deduct, bucks, K. Those words are all going to be eliminated from your vernacular.
Or you'll be eliminated.
Or you're going to eliminate yourself. We're just rolling right into this one.
That's right.
We're rolling in. We're rolling in. Are you with me? Today, this is how we start every time.
It is.
We're just going to let it roll. No, let it roll. We're not starting over again. Not starting over.
Put the hand down.
Put your hands down. Do not press stop or skip this video. Keep it rolling. Important. You ever gotten through an application, almost all the way to the end, everything's going great. You then ask for the bank account information and the client says...
It starts with I'm not comfortable giving that information out.
And then the whole thing blows up.
Boom. A graveyard littered with 3/4 applications. It's like a dump just filled with them.
You're picturing paper apps at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm seeing e-apps because that's how we do it now, Chris.
Servers filled.
Yes. With 85% completed applications that get abandoned right at the cart before you enter your bank information. I mean, I guess probably a lot of online transactions are like that. They get abandoned at the cart, like,
oh yeah.
And then you get an email saying, oh, please come back. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Right? We just don't have that luxury. So today we're going to talk about this little part of the sale that blows up a lot of people's efforts. And we keep seeing agents getting stuck on it over and over and over again. We just saw it this past week. We were in Atlanta at one of our telesales boot camps.
Yes.
Supporting an organization down there, True Wealth. And we heard agents lose sales because they didn't want to give out their social or their bank account information.
Yeah.
What's going on with that, Chris? What say you? And how do we fix it?
Let's talk through this.
So these guys will know how to navigate it.
If you are selling and you do not have a principled sales process, that is the number one issue.
100%.
Number one.
People are going, question mark, boring. What is a principled sales process?
You got a script from your upline, and they told you to say the words on it, and you don't know what they mean or how they work. You're just repeating what's on the paper, or on the screen. That will get you sales, but you still have to deal with a whole bunch of stuff because it's a person-to-person conversation.
Humans,
humans having communication stuff
with only audio for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. When
if you're face-to-face, it's a little different.
It is.
We can address that too. But
yeah. So on this side of thing, on our principled sales process, we look for some key ingredients. Two of the ones that rise to the surface in regards to getting sensitive information like a social security number or a bank information is trust, establishing trust, and discovering the stakes. Because if it means something to somebody, they will take action.
Correct.
Right? So that's the stake side. So
if they've identified the stakes.
If they've identified those stakes, and you guys have heard this over and over and over again on the podcast, and you're trying to implement some of these pieces, but we wanted to take something very specific and show how it works. So on the trust side, we talk about the ingredients of trust being authority and empathy. Authority is that you are backed by the state, you have a license, you can share your credentials, that these insurance companies that have been around for 100 years have identified you as somebody that they want to represent them. So there's some authority pieces, but those aren't the ones that I feel like move. The things that move in the authority side, it's not just enough to establish trust. It's maintaining trust throughout the conversation.
Chris, I will say this too. We did a whole episode on this. We did an episode on the 3 Ps.
Yeah.
You got to know your 3 Ps. It's the most authoritative part of your sales cycle. You got to know your people. You got to know your process, and you got to know your product. And when you know them confidently, you speak with confidence.
Yes.
If you speak with confidence, your tone is different.
Yes.
Your cadence is different. The way you ask for things is different. The way you direct people to take action is different.
Yeah.
How you move people through the process is different because you know your stuff.
Yes.
And when you know your process, you know what's coming next. You know what objection you're going to get at the end. So we're going to deal with it now. You know these things, so it's a big part, man, of... So some people say, well, I don't know how to get the bank account, and they think that's the issue.
Right.
The issue is not on what words do I say to fix it at the end. Nice ringtone.
Thank you.
That's from 1989. He's got a 1989 ringtone right there. I know.
I was like,
it's the same one you got for your alarm in the morning, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's the same one. It's
usually a nap time.
It's for your afternoon nap. Yes. But... They think they need words to fix it right there.
The magic words.
Now, I would say 80% of it is one in the trust area of the principled sales process, which is empathy and authority. Empathy is understanding their stakes and then hearing them, understanding them, repeating them back to them, and getting them to say it, obviously.
And let me make an observation, okay? Because I think people are listening to this and they're like, okay, I get that, but what does it sound like? Like, what do you mean by that? And I would say hit rewind 45 seconds and listen to you talk about this, the way you were talking about it. And imagine you're a new agent talking about the same topic you're talking about. You would not be speaking the way you're speaking about it. You're speaking about it in a way that you've seen this 1,000 times. You know exactly what it is. And the inflection in your voice is bringing attention to key areas that you want our people to pay attention to. So just so you get an idea of what it is, I mean, you're listening to an expert. Your clients want to listen to an expert,
and they want to follow an expert.
Yeah,
and they will trust an expert.
Right.
But if you haven't established that authority with them, they're still questioning. And so then when you get to the bank account part, they want to back up.
Right. Absolutely.
Because they don't want to be scammed. Which is a trust issue.
And they may have been.
Yeah, they may have been.
Oh, yeah. That's hard. Yeah. So if you may be asking this question, well, I'm not an expert. I'll never get the banking information.
Then just quit. just quit now. And then just
go be a host at IHOP.
Study for 6 years to become a master's, get a master's degree in the words to use for life insurance sales, and then come back, and then you can start.
And that's why we say practice with somebody you trust to and ask the question, would you buy from me? like that was the thing. Lisa and I, my wife, I talked about that. I had cue cards, and she was playing a role
of a 72-year-old man with COPD who had a heart attack 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I was trying to get to a sale. And that's why I was really dissecting and taking this thing apart so I could have a better understanding about it. Yeah. So do that. The other is get the reps. Get all the no's you need to know, so you can compress this timeline. Fail as much as you need to fail to become competent and confident in this process. That's key pieces to this. So learning your tone and pacing. The other key piece to this, Roger, and I hear it over and over again, is people talk way too fast.
They talk like seniors can keep up.
Yeah.
They talk like seniors understand their slang.
Oh, yeah.
They speak like there's perfect audio on the other end.
Yeah.
And they're oftentimes in a noisy environment themselves. There's long pauses and then fast talking. It's
jarring.
Yeah, it's not a normal cadence.
And if you think that you're talking slower, you're not. In most cases, you're not.
Yeah.
We're
talking about senior sales now.
Yeah. We're talking about final expense.
Seniors. We're not talking about mortgage protection sales.
Well,
right now.
But you may have some seniors in the mortgage protection space.
You could.
Yeah. And when that's happening, here's what you don't know is happening. You're here in the process, and they're here and trying to figure out.
They can't see you on Spotify.
You're here.
Spotify, they still can't see you.
I still can't do it. Sorry, Spotify people.
You're way down the road.
How do I do this?
You're way down the road around the turn, and they can't even see you anymore, but you think everybody's good.
They're still trying to figure out certain things.
Yeah.
Like, do I need this? Do I want this?
Yeah.
How do I get this guy off the phone?
Yeah.
They're thinking these types of things, but if you're going too fast, you lost them again. That's another one. You think it's the words at the end, and it's not.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career. Let's talk about some of the words at the beginning. Here's some things I've used at the beginning of the sale. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
So I would say something like this. This is in my, obviously we talk about the principled sales process: belief, trust, stakes, option, solution. Belief, I'm communicating to them that I really believe what I'm doing and how important this is for their family, that I'm honored to do it. And we serve hundreds of people every day. And I work with a company that represents thousands of clients around the country, just like you, who have, limited or fixed income or Social Security.
Yeah.
We know the plans need to be affordable, but I represent these companies as an independent agent. So I'm actually representing you because I don't work for any of the companies. And we're going to find out what best suits you. And I'm going to make a recommendation. Now, because these are state regulated programs, just FYI, insurance companies are like banks. They're financial institutions. There's going to be a few things that you get with an insurance company that you definitely do not get with a bank. Number one of the things, a big difference you get with an insurance company is when they approve the benefit. As long as you're making the premium payment, they are required to pay that benefit. That's a promise that they make. And that benefit might be as little as $10,000. It might be $1 million. And a bank's not going to do that. Bank's going to just give you back what's in the bank with their little bit of interest, right?
Yeah.
But an insurance company is going to give you the lump sum. So they both have to be fiduciarily responsible as a financial institution. Now, in order for them to do that, they're going to need some information. They're going to need to be able to identify you. So there's going to be an identifier. The way we do that is with your Social Security information. So we're going to need to provide that. And then secondarily, they're going to need to know that it's tied to a bank account of a person that exists and that it can be paid because they in order for the benefit to go in force, right? An offer has to be extended and a payment has to be made. And once the offer is extended and the payment is made, that's when the policy goes in force. I'm using my hands visually now. Chris is wondering about the Spotify people, right?
Yes.
Spotify
Roger's
people.
hand is lifted.
So that's what actually puts the policy in force. So we're going to need your bank account information as well. I'm going to be asking you for that. And at the end, I don't need it right now. I just want to let you know that's coming. Yeah. And then I keep moving.
Yeah.
Now I've set what I call setting the table, or I'm setting the expectations of some things that are going to come. Now, if that's going to be an issue, generally you're going to hear something about it at some point. But because you're dismissing it, and I don't need that now, and we don't need to focus on that now, but I will need that once we find something that you want to apply for. And I'm telling you that you want to apply for. It's very assumptive. When I was, Chris, sitting with clients face-to-face, and so if you're still in a face-to-face environment.
Yes, this is very good.
And you get a voided check, to attach, or they give you a voided check. And a lot of people don't do that anymore. A lot of people just enter in accounting and routing numbers, but they're giving
you something.
They're giving you something, or pulling out a checkbook or something like that. I used to pull out a paper application with the voided check attached from several clients.
Yes.
Some of them might have been 3 months old. I didn't care. And I would just set them on the table. And Chris, they would see those applications with voided checks attached. Now, why was I doing that? I told you why I was doing it.
Yeah.
And what did that accomplish?
It set the expectation that other people, it built trust.
Builds trust.
Yeah.
Why?
Because other people give you that information.
But I'm not even talking about it. I'm just moving them out of the way, like I'm taking papers out and just moving them aside so I can get to their stuff.
Well, I remember you would walk in and pretend to trip, and then you would drop them and
gather up. Oh, these are all my other clients' information.
No. But it does build trust. They see that other people are giving you that information without you saying a single
Didn't
word
even have
about
to say
it.
a word.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now on the phone you can't do that, but face to face you can give some kind of inclination or some type of acknowledgement or nod to that sort of thing, and it lets people know. And if you're still using a paper application for whatever reason, and you do have a voided check, obviously you don't want any personal information showing. So there's usually a cover sheet.
Yeah.
And the check is void. So that's no good to anybody, but it's visible.
Yeah.
It tells them other people trust you. It tells them other people submit applications. It tells them I'm probably going to submit an application if I want to do this.
Yes.
It tells them I'm going to need to give them a voided check
Yes.
if I'm going to want to do this. It's like it just tells them so much. Yeah. So that was a way that I used to do it, in the home physically. Over the phone, you need to tell them. So when I submit applications, we're going to need your social and we're going to need some bank information. They're responsible. They have to get the payment to your beneficiary. They need to identify who you are so they're not paying the wrong person.
Right.
You want to eliminate all the fraud, make sure it's,
Correct.
Structured and set up. And they're designed to be paid once a month through the bank with your Social Security deposit.
And that's matter of fact.
Yeah, it's a matter of fact. This is how everyone does it.
This is how we do it.
I'm not tiptoeing around it.
Right.
Like it's a taboo subject, and I'm hoping they're going to just accidentally give me the information without contesting it.
Correct.
So I'm not tiptoeing around it. It just, we address it. So those are some of the words up front that you can say. But you're saying that with authority.
Yes.
With the proper tone, with the proper cadence, with confidence, because you know your process.
Yeah.
That goes back to knowing your process.
I would say that's a directive tone. It's not a questioning tone. And I think a lot of times when agents are approaching this, they approach it with a questioning tone. Like when the client feels that you're unsure, that's when they back away.
Yeah.
So does that work all the time? I don't know. I do want to talk about perspective of the agent and how they communicate, because this was a big one. When you were training me, I could not get this in my head. You would say, how does this get paid? Like trying to help me understand. And I would say, the insurance company would get the money from the bank. And you're like, no. I'm like, hurting my head. Like it's hurting my head. Insurance company bank money? Like I was turning into a caveman the more I thought about it. But you were trying to help me understand that the bank was paying. It was an authorization for the bank to pay on behalf of the client.
Correct.
Very
a monthly
different.
Authorization to pay it.
Yes. And immediately, clients who have their guards up are thinking that thought, that the insurance company or a company, I'm not going to let anybody into my bank account. They'll say something like that.
Yeah. Nobody's getting into my bank account. I don't want people getting into my bank account. My friend got defrauded. I got scammed.
Yeah.
They'll tell you stories.
So I liked the framing of it when I share it now from what I learned from you is, so when we set it up to be paid once a month through the bank.
With your
Social Security. Typically, most people, if you're on disability, you'll get it on the first of the month, or maybe you get it on the second, third, or fourth Wednesday, like the other folks that I help.
Or the third.
Yeah.
Third of the month.
Yeah.
Or one of the Wednesdays.
That's right.
Which one are you?
Which one are you?
So we're going to set these up so it's paid on that date with your Social Security. That's how this is set up. And the bank will pay it once a month for you on your behalf.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. What's your routing number?
And that's the key piece is to move towards asking or I don't want to say directing. It moves towards directing. The asking feels like there's a question mark, but it's a directive question, even in the way you presented it.
Yeah.
So
what are some other ways? Because even when we feel like we do a great job with trust, Chris, we get to the end and you still get derailed at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did this happen? It's happened to me. It happened to me probably 100 times.
Yeah. I won't give you my banking information.
I have gotten so much trust with this person. We've shared life experience. She was crying a minute ago. I had my wife on the phone talking to her, and then we get to the end. She goes, "I don't want to give you my bank account." Like it still will happen. So, what are some of the things that you can say?
I do want to give the disclaimer, and everything I talk to agents about, and when we're doing training, is this will work sometimes. It won't work every time.
Yes.
Yeah. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, because some of you
like,
go
"Dang
out and
it."
you try it tomorrow and say, I did exactly what they said, and it didn't work. Those guys don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. The one thing that can help is when you find out the banking. There's different ways you can address banking. We do an education piece and we talk about accidental insurance and how sometimes a credit union will give you the opportunity to apply for a very low cost or cheap or even free accidental policy. Maybe you have one of those. Do you bank with a credit union or a local bank? Okay, and they'll say a credit union. Okay, which one is it? They'll give you that information.
But now you have info.
Yeah, you have information, which is very valuable. So when you get to the banking information, we're going to set it up to be paid once a month through the bank.
And you say the name of the bank that they gave you earlier.
Yes.
When they said they dealt with.
Yeah, Community
Federal,
Credit Union.
Yeah.
And
or PNC Bank or whatever.
Yeah. So I have their routing number as. I just need to confirm that with you.
And how do you find that, Chris?
You can Google that.
What?
You can look Community Credit Union
in their town.
Yeah, in their town, and that'll pull up.
Yeah.
And you can use that to move forward.
Yeah.
So I have that. Now I just need your account information. Mm-hmm. And then they'll give you the account information.
I'm Googling right now, PNC routing number, Louisville, Kentucky.
Like we'll say something like, okay, great, we work with that bank. I currently have the routing number as. Like it's common that we're working with that bank in that area.
PNC routing numbers by state, Kentucky, 830-00108.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the routing number for your bank as 830-00108. That should be on the bottom left of your check.
Yep.
Now I need the account number on the right. Can you go ahead and give me that, please?
Then you wait.
And they give it to you.
Mm-hmm. That's your turn.
Dude. I think it's my computer.
Yes. The account number.
Mm-hmm. The account
now,
number.
Will that work every time?
No.
No, it doesn't. But again, for me, in these conversations, it's about perspective. And we do want to acknowledge and help them understand that nobody's getting in their account. They're authorizing the bank to pay on their behalf. And this is another one that's helped me in this conversation. I used to work at a grocery store. And
I love this one.
yeah.
Some gold coming right here. Here's the grocery store close.
Yes. And when I worked at the grocery store, there were ladies who would hand me a check to pay for their groceries.
And tell you had nice lips.
They did. I literally had a client tell me that one time. Or a client, that sounds worse. I had a lady at a grocery store tell me I had the most beautiful lips.
You probably had a client or two say it also.
Red. Oh my gosh.
You probably had a client say it also.
What kind of grocery store is this?
Does Lisa know this?
Yes. No, she was working there at the time.
Oh,
so
was
that's
it
how we
Lisa?
met. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a senior
doesn't think
lady
you have nice
staring
lips.
at me at different times. Different story.
We're off subject.
Oh my gosh. So I was a cashier. Hand me a check, right? We'd put it through the machine, zip, and then the groceries are paid for. We put it in the drawer. And then I realized, having these conversations, I was collecting checks. Mm-hmm. And it has the information I need for the bank to pay on their behalf.
Correct.
And at the bottom of the check is the account and routing number, and that's all I needed.
That's it.
So what was happening at the grocery store and the time they were paying for it? They were authorizing the bank to pay for their groceries on their behalf. The bank was not getting in their bank account. So I can say, Miss Mary, do you remember, I don't know if you remember this, a time when you were in the grocery store and you wrote a check. Now, maybe you didn't write a check for your groceries, but you knew people who did write a check for their groceries. She'd say, oh, yes. At the bottom of that check is the information that we are requesting for the bank to pay on your behalf. When they wrote a check at the grocery store, they were authorizing the bank to pay for their groceries, to release the funds to pay for it on their behalf. That's all. The grocery store wasn't getting in. The insurance company's not getting in. Now, this would be different if we were asking for the card information and the 3-digit code on the back. We aren't asking for that. We're just asking for the information that would allow the funds to be released for you in case something happened to you. Mm-hmm. You got sick, you weren't able to pay the premium. That's probably when you need it the most. Am I right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I just need that account number.
Yeah. I want you to confirm the routing number. I have the routing number as.
Yes.
Now I just need you to, can you confirm that number? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, now I need the account number. That's it.
Now, you might be saying, okay, that sounds decent. I watched a brand new agent who stumbled through the application say those words at that time and get the account number. Just like that.
Yeah.
Whispering it in their ear.
Tell them about the grocery store.
I was
with the grocery store. Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it
Here's
worked.
my number.
It worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
actually more secure than what you said when people get your card info and you get the 3-digit code. Man, they can go to town on that. And that's where a lot of people get defrauded. That's where a lot of seniors, especially when they get in and they get authorization, you know, and they're I need you to go on your computer and reset your account for me.
Oh, jeez. I've
Seniors
heard
get
horror
scammed
stories
on that kind of stuff. And so,
we
this
want to do what's best
this is a
for them.
legitimate thing. Their concern is legitimate.
Oh, 100%.
But it goes back to trust. It goes to trust every time. Trust and authority. So how are you speaking the words? How does your confidence portray to them? Are you directing the conversation? Are you leading them because you know what's coming? And are you asking for it in a way that it makes them feel secure?
Yeah.
If you ask for it really awkwardly, and then
it's
it's
going to be weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. These are interesting.
And one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We speak to people as if they understand life from our perspective.
Well, that's the empathy part of trust, right?
It's not just empathy, Chris. It's a generational thing. Millennials and Gen Zs who are getting in this business speak to a senior from their worldview. And they don't have their worldview. You need to learn the worldview of the 65-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, how am I going to learn that? By listening to pros who do it, by listening to this over and over again, by practicing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I agree.
If you show up and say, bruh, and you're dropping lines, and then you say it's $1,000,
$25K.
$25K will get you, it's only this much for $25K.
Yeah.
That's stuff that is unsettling to seniors. Like you're like dismantling trust. You're dismantling trust. Yeah. You're bringing up a suspicion wall.
Yeah. Suspicion wall. That's
that
good.
They don't think that you're fiduciarily responsible because you don't speak like someone that they're used to dealing with who's a pro.
Yeah.
Learn to be a pro.
Absolutely.
Right? Have you ever seen those videos on Instagram like you're a terrible communicator or you sound like a poor communicator when you use words like, and you put like in front of every sentence, like this and like that and like this, and we were like, and we were doing this and he said that and she was like they, you see, like they,
he's stuck in a cycle.
But they'll talk to you about how you're a bad communicator if you're using these words. It's the same thing with seniors.
Yeah.
You got to use words that make them feel comfortable and known and heard rather than your vernacular from your worldview. You got to change it.
When we talk about these things, I see it as a dashboard. I've communicated that before. Like it's almost like a cockpit for a plane. And if I walked in there, holy moly, I see knobs and I'm just going to town flicking things. Who knows what it does? It's making all these crazy.
I would not want you flying my plane.
You would not,
bro.
But the people who are trained and they know, they walk in and they see it. They know what they see and how it works. And it's pretty simple for a life agent. There's two main levers, and it's opportunities, giving yourself enough opportunities, and then the activity that goes with it. Those are the main ones that give you lift. Then everything else, there's dials. This is a dial conversation because you can start to get this, and it will give you maybe an extra application a week. And eventually another 2 and maybe 3 applications that you weren't getting.
2 applications a week more?
Oh, that's massive.
Will almost always be the difference between you breaking even and being very profitable.
Yeah.
And it's such a small thing just to turn that dial a little bit to profitability.
Yeah.
But people get stuck. So what do you think? What are your questions? What are your questions about this?
I'd love to hear this.
What do you want to know about this? Have you ever gotten stuck there? If you've gotten stuck there, what are some ways that you've navigated through it? And we don't want scammy stuff in here.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Because we get some weird comments.
And nothing about my lips. Let's keep that off the table.
You brought it up for a reason. We need to get the lip injector filter.
That is Thursday.
There's got to be a filter for lip injections, right?
Oh,
surely, with everybody getting lip injections.
Her name was Shirley, by the way.
At the pace they're getting, there's got to be filters for that. So let's put some lips on Chris.
Summarize. Establishing, maintaining trust, getting to the stakes, why the heck they're doing this in the first place, committing to the sales process, tonality, pacing, sounding like you've done this before, how you communicate, the perspective of the relationship of the application to the bank, or how payment and the banking goes, and then helping them understand this is something they've done in the past multiple times.
One final thought here, because this is something we did not say on this episode, and I want to say it. You using the terms, it'll auto draft from your bank account. What day do you want this to auto draft? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Listen to the words you're saying. Mm-hmm. What date do you want it to auto draft?
Yeah.
First of all, you're going to tell them what date if they're a senior and they're getting Social Security.
You're
going to tell them.
That.
You're not going to ask them what date. Mm-hmm. You're going to tell them the date.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, what date do you want this to be set up? Is that the words? No, it's not the words. You're going to say, we're going to set this up for the 3rd of the month.
That's right.
It's set up with the bank to be processed with your Social Security. The bank will pay it once a month on your behalf for you, okay? Just like that.
Gold.
Just like that.
Gold.
You're not going to use the words automatic withdrawal, auto draft, auto deduct, bucks, K. Those words are all going to be eliminated from your vernacular.
Or you'll be eliminated.
Or you're going to eliminate yourself.
Yeah.
So let's not eliminate ourselves.
That's right. Go be a difference
I got other images now. Right. Let's serve people well. Use language that matters. Get good at your craft. Guys, we can say do more. And yes, most of you need to do more. But there is an art and science to this of being and becoming a good communicator, being a good listener and becoming a good communicator. So practice that craft. Get good at what you do. Artisans get paid a lot.
That's right.
Because they're really good at what they do.
Become an artisan insurance agent.
An artisan communicator.
That's right. Thank you, guys. We look forward to seeing you on the next Life Insurance Academy podcast. Hey, in the meantime, we'd love to see your comments. And if you have questions.
And if you've had lip injections, maybe post a picture.
Post a picture and hit the subscribe button, please.
Chris, where do you go? Where do you go to get your lips done?
It's Denny's Lip Emporium. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next Life Insurance Academy podcast.
He's trying to close it out, and I just keep dragging it out. I just keep going. He's got nice lips, though. Look at him.
Oh, my gosh. My face is red.